how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, before we get started, I just wanted to go over some formality information. You did sign the consent form. Thank you for that. I just wanted to remind you that we are recording if I have your permission to do so. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. And at any time um, you feel like you want to turn it off, just let me know and I can do that, okay?
Okay.
Everything that you say here is confidential. Nothing will leave this room. Um, the only people that might see this includes my professor and maybe some members of my class, okay? But within that, no one's going to tell anything that you say, okay? So I saw on your paperwork that you had quite a few things that you wanted to discuss with me. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So, well, lately I've been going through some hard times.
Okay.
Um, I just recently broke up with my boyfriend, or he broke up with me, rather. And shortly afterwards, I found out that I am pregnant.
Okay.
And he wants me to get an abortion. He wants to pay for it and everything. But I am not sure that's what I want to do.
Okay.
And that's causing a lot of issues
Okay.
in my life.
So I heard you say this is like a hard time right now.
Yeah.
You're feeling really conflicted with what to do?
Yes.
Okay. So, how long were you with this boyfriend?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. So is the breakup affecting you more, or is this pregnancy? Would you say? Or is kind of a mixture of both?
In the
Excuse me.
beginning, it was more about the breakup. I was really upset about that, but now I guess it's kind of both because I'm alone in
Mhm.
this, and he's really pressuring me to get an abortion, and he's not being supportive at all of my wanting to keep it.
So you do want to keep the baby?
Yes.
Okay. So, you said you feel kind of alone in this. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, had we stayed together, I feel like he might have been more supportive or helpful and not quite as adamant about me getting rid of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
My family, I haven't told them yet. He is really the only person that knows.
Okay.
I haven't told anyone other than him. But I'm really nervous to tell my family because I'm only 21. I'm a junior in college. I don't think they're going to be very happy with that. And I'm just a little nervous about what they'll have to say.
Okay.
So I feel like I don't really have anyone to turn to talk about this with.
Okay. So, kind of to backtrack a little bit, you said you're 21, you're a junior in college. So, I'm guessing you have a lot going on in your life already.
Yeah, this has
without
been
this.
a really hard year on its own, you know. I'm not 21 yet, but I will be in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I can't even enjoy that now because I'm pregnant. But I'm also just now getting over mono.
Okay.
And it's the end of the year, so finals are happening, and I'm looking for an internship. I have a job. I have so many other things I have going on, and then this is just not helping any of that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to commend you for coming in to talk about this. It's really great that you're trying to seek the help that you want. So thank you for coming in and talking about it. I hear that there's a lot going on. You're feeling alone, you're stressed out, and you're not really sure of what you want to do right now. So, is there a particular reason why you haven't told your family? Other than, like, you know that they won't be so happy about it?
Well, I know that they'll want me to keep it too, and I don't know, I just don't want to disappoint them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ruin how they see me or anything like that. I just think they'd be really disappointed, and I don't want to deal with that on top of all of this just because I feel like that would make me even more stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already nervous thinking about how this is affecting the baby as it is.
Because of your stress.
Right. So I haven't told them because of that. I don't want to add any more stress onto it, but I know eventually I'll have to tell them.
Yeah.
But I don't know when I will.
So have you kind of made up your mind with what you want to do as far as keeping the baby or getting an abortion?
I'm pretty set on keeping it, just because I personally don't want to have an abortion. I don't feel like that's the right thing to do for me. My family would be very against that, and although I know it would be really difficult to raise a child right now, I just feel like that's the right thing to do, would be to keep it. Even though my ex-boyfriend is very persistent on me getting rid of it. I guess I wouldn't have him involved in the child's life at all.
Okay.
But that's not something I've really discussed with him because I haven't told him yet that I am 100% keeping it.
Okay.
So,
is that something that you plan to do soon in the future?
Hopefully.
Okay. So, you said that you're pretty certain with the fact that you're going to keep the baby. So, what would that mean for you if you were to keep the baby?
A lot of things. Well, for one, my life would be totally different. I honestly, that's just something I have yet to really wrap my head around.
Yeah.
Because it would be such a change. I know that my family would help me because they're supportive in that way after, the initial shock and everything. So I'm not super concerned about that, but I think the adjustment period will be pretty difficult. But I think I'll be able to do it.
Okay. So, what I've heard so far is this has been a really hard time for you. Not only because of the breakup, but because you also found out that you're pregnant, but also because you're a junior in college and you're just getting over a sickness and finals are coming up. You're just really stressed out. So you have a lot on your plate, and that's why you haven't really told your family. So to kind of go back to school, you're a junior, so in the fall you'll be a senior. What does school look like for you right now? Your major?
I'm majoring in fashion and textile management, and I'm minoring in arts entrepreneurship. I have no idea about a career or anything yet.
Okay.
I was hoping for an internship this summer, but I don't know how that's gonna work out anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
So this internship are you unsure about whether that's going to work out because of your pregnancy, or is it other things that came up?
And then also just, I don't know if it's happening.
Okay. So you said you're not really sure about career. You just still need some time to figure that out. So I'm sure adding a baby to that is scary.
Yeah.
So, are you doing well in school? Is that something that you enjoy doing?
I mean, this has been a pretty stressful semester overall. I'm doing okay. I'm not making bad grades or anything. I don't feel super motivated just because I'm so stressed out. I don't really have time to focus on my schoolwork and things like that. I just get easily distracted. And, I've had mono, so I'm just exhausted all the time. I can't really stay up and do one thing for very long before I'm just so tired I can't keep my eyes open. I used to enjoy school. Now it's just I'm kind of ready to be done with it and get it over with.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm not, just because I don't know about the future and things like that.
So you said you don't make bad grades, so that's good. You're making good grades, and even though you used to enjoy it, I'm guessing just most of that has to do with stress. Just the uncertainty of the future. And it might be like nice to know like you're not alone in that. Like other college students are maybe not as stressed out as you are right now, but I'm sure like your friends, have you talked to them about stress at all?
I mean, yeah, everyone is stressed out in college. It's not like a secret.
Yeah.
But most of my friends don't live in the area, so I don't really talk
Okay.
to them that often.
So that goes back to you feeling alone.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about what's been going on, the stress, and you not really feeling like you know where to go right now, in what direction. What would like the ideal outcome look like for you?
Well, I would have the baby. My family would be supportive of it. My ex-boyfriend wouldn't be a jerk about it. I would continue going to school, finish all of that, get my life in order, and then, just try to do what's best for myself and the baby.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So do you see that as something that's possible?
I think, minus the whole ex-boyfriend part of it, I just feel like he's going to be the biggest part of it all.
Okay.
But really, I feel like everything else is doable.
Yeah.
I just don't know about him and how he's going to react when I tell him that I'm keeping it. That's just kind of a scary thought to think about.
Yeah. So you're feeling scared and alone, kind of hopeless, like not really sure what to do. Have you ever thought about harming yourself?
No,
No. Okay.
I wouldn't do that just because I am pregnant.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. But I don't want to be a mom. I'm not ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I'll have to be, but sometimes, I debate if I even want children at all.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I say I do, and then most of the time I'm like, no, not really. Yeah. And to be put in a situation where I'm going to have a child now is just a little bit frightening.
Right.
I don't feel like I'm smart enough or capable enough to take care of another person just yet.
Okay. Well, a lot of people, get pregnant even earlier, and it's amazing that you're still in school, and you said the ideal outcome is you'd finish school, so that's great that you would make sure that school remains a top priority because that's something that's important to you, so that's awesome. So you said that you have no intentions of hurting yourself. That's great to hear. Has there ever been any like family history with that?
Yeah, there's some family history of depression and
Okay.
mental illness and things like that. I've never been diagnosed with depression, but at times, I often feel like I could be. I just
Okay.
I don't really do much about it.
So that is a concern of yours?
That is definitely a concern. I'm also concerned about like postpartum depression, things like that
Okay.
happening as well. Hopefully I can get all of that sorted out.
Yeah.
That is a concern for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you haven't really done anything about your depression, just
No, yeah, I just kind of,
put it off. Okay. Have you ever thought about getting help for that?
yeah, I have. I just never really get around to it.
Okay. I mean, you're busy, You have a lot going on, so that's understandable. So to kind of recap what we've talked about so far, you're almost 21. In a few days, you'll be turning 21. That's exciting. You're a junior in college. You're approaching the end of the year. You have finals coming up. Your ex-boyfriend is kind of making this pregnancy really difficult for you and making you feel stressed out and alone because he's trying to force this abortion on you, saying that he'll pay for it and that you shouldn't keep the baby. But you personally, you do want to keep the baby just because you feel like an abortion is not the right choice for you. and you know that your family wouldn't be supportive of that, but after the initial shock, you feel like they would be supportive of you and your choice for keeping the baby. Okay? Does that sound about right so far?
Yeah.
I haven't missed anything? Okay. So, I kind of want to talk about the stress right now. You said that you've been feeling really stressed out and you're worried about what that might do to the baby. Can you tell me a little bit more about that stress that you've been having?
Well, just being worried about school
Mhm.
and finals and things like that. I get stressed out really easily with things like that and studying just because I hate studying.
Yeah.
My ex-boyfriend, he isn't very helpful at all, which is stressful.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that my family doesn't know yet is also stressful. And I know that I said I was like dead set on keeping the baby, and I am. I just can't decide if that's the best decision in the long run.
Okay.
I feel like I can't tell whether I would be doing it to please my family or if it really is what I feel like would be best.
Okay. So you are thinking about what this might look like in the future and whether this is like really the right thing to do. So have you thought more about what it would look like if you did have an abortion?
Yeah, and I don't know. Obviously, it's kind of hard to imagine it just because it is kind of like an abstract sort of thought. But I don't think I'd be okay with myself if I did that.
Okay.
I think I would feel really bad about it, and I don't know how I'd be able to get over that decision.
Okay. So you feel like having an abortion would weigh too much on you with the negativity, and you just don't feel like that's something that you could ultimately do. But you have thought about whether keeping the baby is going to be the best thing for you in the long run, and even for the baby in the long run.
Yeah.
So how is all of this stress like manifesting in your life?
Well, I've kind of just stayed at home for the most part, all the time. I don't really leave unless I have to go to class, which even sometimes I don't go to class just because I don't feel like getting out of bed. Before I found out I was pregnant, I was drinking a bit. I mean, nothing crazy. I wasn't getting drunk or anything, but like that obviously isn't so great. And I don't know, I've just kind of been going inward and not really talking to anyone at all.
Okay.
I don't really deal with stress that well. I don't talk to people about it.
Okay.
I feel more comfortable just keeping it to myself and not, making it become other people's problems. But I don't know. I've just been really worried and anxious all the time, like sleeping a lot or having trouble falling asleep.
Okay.
Just kind of like a lack of, I don't know what word it is right now, but I just don't feel like doing anything.
Okay.
I just feel kind of helpless.
You feel helpless.
And like I don't know what to do.
Okay. So you feel like you're kind of shutting yourself off from the world in a sense and going more inward than outward in the sense that you don't really talk to anyone about how you're feeling. Well, I know for me personally, I'm the same way. When I'm stressed out, I kind of tend to keep to myself. I don't like feeling like I'm a burden to other people. So know that you're not alone in that sense, You're not the only one that does that, and it's normal for some. Do you feel like you have a support system?
I mean, yeah, my parents they're not bad people at all. They're very supportive of me, and they're always there for me no matter what. I hate feeling like I've disappointed them because I know this is obviously not what they had planned for my future, not what they wanted to see happen to me so soon, and especially under the circumstances. I think that's really why I don't want to tell them, just because I don't know, I don't want them to see me as a different person or treat me any differently.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I do feel like they would be supportive. I just really don't want to, I don't know, maybe telling them will make it real. And
Yeah.
that's also why I haven't done it yet, but I don't know.
So you feel like when you do tell your parents, it's kind of becoming even more real. Like you really have to face it and
Yeah.
your choice. Okay.
And I just don't know if I'm ready for that yet.
Yeah. And that's adding to your stress, I'm sure. So you said that you were drinking a bit before, but nothing like excessive.
Mm-hmm.
And you've stopped drinking since you found out you're pregnant, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So you've been sleeping a lot or having trouble falling asleep. Can you tell me about that?
So because of the mono, I'm guessing, I don't really know if it's
Mhm.
gone or anything yet, since I can't really tell. I'll wake up in the morning and I'll either just feel exhausted still, like I could just sleep all day, and then I'll end up sleeping all day.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if I've been awake and doing things that day, sometimes I can find it difficult to fall asleep at night just because I'm thinking about everything.
Yeah.
And I can't really turn my brain off to relax and get into like a state of mind where I can sleep. It really just depends. It's different every day.
Yeah.
But I either am oversleeping or just having difficulty sleeping in general.
So is that difficulty sleeping kind of just you overthinking and
Yeah.
feeling like there's so much going on? It's just like difficult to shut it down and think about other things or think about nothing?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm sure you know that stress is kind of like a silent killer and that it's like really, really bad for us. And you said that you're worried about how that's going to affect the baby. So you do know that you need to do something to try to get this stress under control. Have you tried anything to kind of alleviate the stress?
No, like I acknowledge the fact that I am stressed out, but I haven't really been able to do anything about it. Like,
Okay.
I don't feel the motivation to do it.
You don't feel the motivation. Okay.
I mean, I guess I felt motivated to come here and talk to you today, but like,
and that's something.
That's
a step in the right
really
direction.
Only it. And I wouldn't have even done this, like, had I not found out I was pregnant, I would just do whatever I had been doing before, but
Okay.
it's different now that it's not just me.
Yeah.
So I do realize I need to get a hold of things and stop being so stressed out, but I just don't really know how to deal with that.
Yeah. That's great that you're feeling so selfless in that right now. You acknowledge that it's not just you anymore that you have to take care of. It's another baby. It's another human that you have to take care of. So that I want to commend you for taking the time to come here. I know it's sometimes hard for people to acknowledge that they feel like there's something that they can't really get a grasp on, so they need help trying to figure things out. So since you did have the motivation to come here, that's great. That's a step in the right direction, and maybe with that, you might feel as though, okay, maybe I can do something to kind of get this under control. What are some like things that you like doing that you feel like help your stress? Like not necessarily right now, but like in the past. What are some things?
Exercising helps, obviously.
Yeah.
I haven't really been able to go to the gym for a while just because I've been sick. And that's another thing that's like stressing me out.
You can't go to the gym.
I can't go to the gym. Like I feel like I probably could now, but I feel like since I haven't gone in a couple weeks, I'm just gonna be like not good.
Yeah.
But that helps. I don't know. I would say talking to my friends, but like I don't want to talk to my friends about this because I don't want them to judge me. Not that I think that they would, but I don't know. I don't want them to see me differently either.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose my friends just because I'm pregnant, you know. I'm not a different person. I just have a different person inside me now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll tell them. But
yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I don't know. I would say doing like crafty things, but like I don't feel like doing that anymore.
Yeah. I'm sure your major kind of requires a lot of craftiness, so.
Yeah, so that's just kind of not really a de-stressor activity at the moment. But
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned exercise, and since you've had mono and you're kind of getting over it, it hasn't really been like an option for you.
mm-hmm.
And you talked about like social relations and that like talking to your friends. You've thought about it, but you haven't, just because you don't want them to judge you or feel like you're losing your friends because you're pregnant. Have you ever tried like meditation or anything like that?
Yeah, but it's hard for me to stop thinking, so I can't really meditate.
Okay.
But I have thought about it.
Yeah. Are there any, you mentioned that like crafting is not like enjoyable for you anymore. Are there any hobbies that you do have right now that kind of let you escape a little bit?
I haven't really had any hobbies for a couple years now.
Okay.
Unless you count online shopping as a hobby, which isn't really a good thing. I don't know. I feel like in high school, I did a lot of crafty things in high school.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I dealt with my stress. But then, I don't know when that stopped becoming something I did. But it just did, and I haven't really gotten back into it.
Okay. Do you feel like that was a recent thing?
No, I feel like before I started college, it ended.
Okay.
Probably like my senior year of high school. Yeah.
So, what were some of the things that you would do, like crafting?
I did a lot of collaging and coloring and painting, things like that. I was in a sculpture class, so I think that was nice.
Okay.
Obviously, that was easier to do because it was a class that I was taking. But I feel like that was something that was relaxing, something good to do. But yeah, I just don't have the time or like the resources to do those things anymore.
So you said that you did a lot of like collaging and painting and coloring, and you really enjoyed your sculpture class. And it stopped your senior year of high school. Can you recall anything that might have been like the reason why that stopped?
Well, in high school, I started dating this guy, and it was just a really bad relationship.
Okay.
It was very toxic. He was not a good person, and I think that really stressed me out because I made his issues my own, and I was really more concerned about him than myself. So I think I just kind of put myself on the back burner, and then from then on, I just kind of didn't really, I don't know, I feel like I've just been different since then, and I haven't really gotten back to being normal or myself, if I had to say.
Yeah. So you kind of feel like you're in a journey back to finding yourself.
Yeah, although who really knows who they were in high school, but
that's fair.
I guess I was a little bit happier though before then, and
before this relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like that still kind of affects me, and I haven't really figured out why.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you have kind of like a whole thing that you're kind of dealing with right now. On top of all of this, you're trying to figure out why that relationship is still kind of affecting you in a way. So your crafting hasn't really come back to you since then. So it's been like almost 4 years since then. It's a long time. For your major, do you do a lot of stuff that could be considered crafting?
It's not so much crafting because it's mostly all digital.
Okay.
I do sew from time to time because I'm a product development major. But I haven't had any classes this year that required me to sew.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like that's the only crafty type thing I do. Everything else is, digital.
Yeah.
But
do you enjoy doing the digital stuff?
I do enjoy it. I like it.
Okay.
I don't really have time to do it for fun though.
Yeah.
Just because I have to get
so much is going on.
Those projects and things done. But yeah.
Okay. So there's definitely been some techniques that we've talked about that you might be able to, once you've gotten this motivation kind of under control, that you could maybe start doing again. One other thing I wanted to ask, how has your nutrition been? Do you feel like you've been eating okay?
No.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, food has always been kind of like a comfort source for me.
Okay.
Even when I was like little, I just love food.
So food has always been a comfort for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the foods that you eat mostly right now?
Eat a lot of pasta.
Pasta?
Chips, candy, bad things.
Okay.
Lots of carbs.
Lots of carbs.
I eat a lot of fruit, but
Okay.
more carbs. I try to eat healthy, but it's, when you don't have the motivation to do anything, it's kind of hard to make myself get up and go to the kitchen and like make some chicken and broccoli when I could just microwave something in like 2 seconds or boil a pot of water and have butter noodles ready in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or just go to Bojangles,
Yeah.
I do like cooking, but I feel like just because of the stress and my low energy levels, I haven't really cared enough to make sure that I'm eating well. I've been trying to put the effort in, but I just can't.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is like the main obstacle for all of these hobbies or ways to kind of reduce the stress is your lack of motivation. Is there anything that you think could like help with that motivation that could kind of give you more motivation to do things?
I don't know. I feel like I should have that motivation because I'm pregnant, so I should want to be the best me for this baby, but like I don't really care.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be stressed out anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of it. And I know that's bad for the baby, but like other than that, like I don't really care about other aspects. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all kind of tied together, but I don't know. I just don't. I mean, maybe that's just the depression talking and I'm just like not aware of it, but I'm not sure.
So do you feel like maybe all of this stress is kind of contributing to possibly feeling depressed, and in turn that's making it even more difficult to find the motivation?
Yeah. I just don't feel like myself. I don't know why, but it's just hard to get back to that. And I used to be like a motivated person. Like I would set goals for myself, try to achieve them and do things, But now I just I don't care.
Yeah. So you are familiar with setting goals, reaching them, setting more goals, and reaching them. So that's something that you're familiar with. You've done that in the past, but right now you just don't care. So you mentioned earlier that exercise is kind of like really important to you, but you haven't been able to go to the gym because you're getting over mono. Do you feel like when you are feeling better, like you don't have mono anymore, do you feel like you'll start going to the gym again?
Yeah, definitely. Just because I'm getting fat and I don't want that.
Oh. And that's also a good stress reliever. So maybe what you kind of just have to wait for is just to feel better and not feel like you have mono anymore. Like better in the sense that you're not sick. And then maybe we could set some goals, since you're familiar with that, on what you would like to happen after you don't have mono anymore. Do you have an idea of some of those goals right now?
No. I don't know, because I feel like right now, even if, or once my mono is gone and I feel better from that, I don't know if I'm even going to want to try to reach those goals that I have for myself. Because I feel like I'm right now just kind of using mono as an excuse, but really that's not all,
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
So maybe we could just start small and just say, when you're feeling better, like you don't have mono anymore, you could just start going to the gym, just start to see how you feel. We'll just start there and see how that is. So now that we've talked a lot about the stress and ways that you can possibly manage that stress, I want to go back to you thinking about whether keeping this baby is what's really the right decision. So you talked a lot about your ideal outcome, and that would be you tell your parents, and they, after the initial shock, they're really supportive. Your ex-boyfriend stops being a jerk, and you continue on with school, you get your life in order. Kind of looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the worst possible outcome that could happen, do you think?
I guess the worst thing that could happen is that my parents are not supportive. They don't want to help me. I tell my friends, and they don't want to be friends with me anymore. Because I don't have any support, and I don't make enough money. I'm not going to be able to support me or this baby, and then that'll just be terrible.
Yeah. So are those thoughts kind of making you think about the abortion?
It's not so. Well, yeah. I'm not getting an abortion. Like, I feel like I'm either keeping it or
Okay.
I guess I would, give it up for adoption or
Okay.
something. But I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to carry the baby, might as well keep it.
Yeah. So at this point, abortion is not an option. We're just going to go ahead and throw that out the window. And you have not told your ex-boyfriend that?
No.
Okay. But you did just mention that adoption might be an option, but you feel like if you carry the baby, you might as well keep it.
Mm-hmm.
So what would it look like if you did give the baby up for adoption? You don't know? You haven't thought about it?
I feel like I would just always wonder about it, and
Okay.
So
that comes with a lot of, I guess, uncertainty.
Yeah, it's a whole other set of stresses.
Yeah.
That I haven't really considered.
Okay. So right now, is your main concern just talking to your family and like getting them on board with everything? Or I guess not on board, but just so that they know what's going on?
I feel like that's the most logical next step, just
Okay.
to talk to my family and see what they think about everything and like what they think is best for me to do, because I trust my family's opinion.
Yeah.
We're all really close and everything, but I feel like until I talk to them, I'm just gonna, not know what to do.
And the stress is just gonna keep building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you feel like it's maybe let's say that you tell your family and yeah, they're shocked and they're disappointed maybe at first, but then they realize, you know what, this is our daughter, we love her, and this will be our grandchild, so we just need to figure out how to make this okay. So if that goes well and you find out that you don't have mono anymore and you're feeling a bit better and you start going to the gym, do you feel like that's going to help alleviate some of the stress that you're feeling?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess what I'd like to do now is think about all of the possibilities of alternatives. So on one hand, you said that your ex-boyfriend's not going to be a part of the baby's life. So have you thought about, I guess, cutting him off now?
I mean, yeah, I don't talk to him.
Okay.
Really. He texts me and he tells me, make sure I'm getting rid of it, blah blah blah. But I don't really entertain him in that way. I don't talk to him anymore.
Okay.
Or at least I try to talk to him as little as possible.
Okay. So for that, I guess on one scale, it's either you cut him off and you don't tell him anything, or you do tell him, hey, you know what, I'm keeping this baby. What does that look like if you do tell him?
I feel like if I tell him, he's just gonna, be irrational and get really angry. But I know that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to tell him. I mean, I guess it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I might not tell him for a while just because whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
But
is that kind of just like on the back burner for you now? Just the main concern is your family.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you thought about when you want to tell them?
I mean, I'd like to tell them as soon as possible.
Okay.
But
what's keeping you from doing that?
just all the worries that they're not gonna be supportive like I hope they will be.
Okay. Is there anything that you feel like could give you that push to tell them? Or is it just something that you feel like you just have to do?
I feel like it's just something I have to do,
Okay.
and I'm gonna get around to it eventually. I'm worried about it, so like that's keeping me from telling them.
Okay. So, let's say that you told them, okay, let's say you left this counseling session, you're feeling more clear, like everything looked a little bit more clear.
Mm-hmm.
You went home and continued on with your day, went to sleep, woke up, and decided that you were going to tell them. So you tell them, and you've talked about the ideal outcome and the possibly not so good outcome. So, do you think it would be better to tell them sooner or later?
I mean, definitely sooner, just in case it did end up being the unideal situation, so that way I could have more time to prepare for everything on my own. Obviously, I feel like the sooner I tell them, the better, because then they're not going to be freaking out as badly.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So, if I'm hearing you correctly, the main concerns that you want addressed include your lack of motivation and kind of getting this stress under control, either by means of like exercising, working on your nutrition, and getting your sleep problems under control, and telling your family about this baby. So we've talked a little bit about alternatives, and how even though you know it's the right thing to tell them soon, the worries of what could happen are kind of keeping you from telling them. But you do know that you just need to, like, whenever you choose to do it, you just have to do it. There's not, you don't really feel like there's anything that's going to make you feel more comfortable telling them. So what I'd like to do now is kind of come up with a tentative action plan, just so you can feel like you're leaving here with something more concrete, okay? So is there something in your mind that you'd really, really, really like to leave here with? Either like a thought or feeling like you can do something that you didn't feel like you could do beforehand?
Well, I'd like to leave here feeling like I could go talk to my parents about this, like, now.
Okay.
And I do kind of feel like that. Just
Okay.
because I feel like I need to get it over with. I need to do that because that'll take away a little bit of my stress.
Okay.
That'll help alleviate a little bit of it. So, I mean, yeah.
Okay. So you feel like you're more in that direction than you were before you came in?
Yeah, I do.
For sure. Okay. So we've talked a lot about all of this stress that you've been feeling and kind of the possibilities of what could happen, and this action plan that we might be able to create. So when you leave here, do you think it would be possible to just like reflect on like the pros and cons of telling them? Okay. Do you think it would be, or I guess what would be like not outcome, but like your ideal time frame for telling them?
Within the week.
Within the week. Okay, so for this action plan, we're gonna just base it on a week. So during that time building up to the week, you can think a lot about the pros and cons, kind of just get yourself mentally prepared for it. And maybe, even if you're not feeling like completely healed and like okay from mono, you could possibly like, do you like going on walks? Okay. Is that something that you could do like around where you live?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could.
So that could give you some time to like just escape a little bit, and that's a good time for you to like also think, you know. What are some other things like that you think that you could do within the week to kind of help you?
I think that might be enough.
Enough? Yeah.
Just because I don't want to overwhelm myself at first.
That's fair.
I have a tendency to, like, when I am exercising and things like that, just kind of like get too focused on that, and like
Okay.
I kind of obsess over it a little bit.
Okay.
And I feel like that could really happen more, as this pregnancy progresses.
Yeah.
So I think if I just try to start walking more until I'm completely better would be good, and then just making it a point to tell my family.
Okay. So a lot of other like techniques that people have used when they've been really stressed out, like we talked a little bit about meditation, and like control of screen time, like with their phones and computers and TVs, and prayer. Are any of those like sounding appealing to you?
Yeah, I do pray, but I feel like I've kind of lost a little bit of my way with my faith lately, just because I don't know, I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been hard to focus on that lately.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's something else I could get into again.
Okay.
That's something I could kind of work on and try to incorporate again into my day.
So prayer that does sound really good for you. Okay. So you said that you have prayed, but you kind of lost it a little bit recently. So is religion really important to you?
Yes, my family is pretty religious.
Okay.
I used to go to church every Sunday and everything, but like I said, I haven't been feeling motivated to leave the house much at all, so
Yeah.
I haven't gone to church in a while.
Okay.
But I was very active in the church.
Okay.
That's something I would like to get back into. I think that would be helpful.
Okay. So what are some of the things that we've talked about, like with ways of reducing that stress that you find most helpful or most ideal for you right now?
Well, I feel like my biggest source of stress is like the fact that my family doesn't know, so I feel like once I tell them, I'll have a little bit of relief in that regard.
Okay. And we gave ourselves a week time frame.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you feel like you might come back for counseling again?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I feel like it would be beneficial.
Okay, so you feel like moving forward with counseling is beneficial for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, would you most like to schedule our next counseling appointment for before or after this week time frame? After. So you want to give yourself that full week to kind of think about really telling them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we've kind of created this little bit of an action plan for you. You said that you're going to kind of focus more on walking, not really full on like exercise just yet.
Yeah.
So you're going to walk a little bit more, and you said that you're going to try to pray more. And even though you haven't really left the house to go to church, that's something that you are thinking about getting back into. So you do want to come back for counseling after you tell your parents.
Yeah, I think that'll help me hold myself accountable for doing it.
Okay.
I think that'll help me kind of do it.
Okay. So I like that you said it'll kind of help you feel more accountable for it. Okay. So we'll go ahead and schedule your next counseling appointment for after. Do you have a day in mind that you'd want to do?
I think Thursday next week would be good.
Thursday? Okay.
Yeah.
So what day do you think you might tell your parents if this like ideal week?
Hopefully I'll tell them this weekend,
Okay.
Saturday or Sunday.
Okay. So that'll give you some time to kind of reflect on like the outcome of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now that we've kind of addressed your main concerns for this counseling session, I just kind of want to hear like what's your main takeaway from today?
Well, I guess that all of my stress is kind of like self-made,
Okay.
There are things I can do to help kind of manage it
Mm-hmm.
and get it under control. The main thing just being telling my family and things like that. But I guess I just need to try to be more proactive in that regard and get that over with and not just wait and
Okay.
stew on it forever.
Yeah.
But also that I probably should go talk to someone about my depression too.
Yeah. You've realized that that's kind of something you need to address sooner rather than later, I'm guessing. Yeah. All right. So we've talked a lot today, and I think that we've come up with some good possible things that you can do to kind of help get you moving in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the same way? Okay. So we'll go ahead and get your next appointment scheduled, and I'll see you next week, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in. I'll see you next week, okay?
Okay.